Candace Wheeler, and I work with the Tragedy Assistance Program for Survivors. Oh, all right. I'm Candace Wheeler, and I work with the Tragedy Assistance Program for Survivors. We're the organization that actually is the voice for the families of those that have lost their loved ones due to toxic exposure. And our numbers are growing daily. 32% of those seeking our services are illness loss survivors, followed only by 27% are those that are survivors of suicide loss. And we know there is a correlation between both. We are here with all of our veteran service organizations and all of our advocates, our veterans and our survivors, our caregivers, here talking with Congress and saying it is time to stop the delays. We've had too many delays. The same members that voted in June, on June 16th, 84 of them now need to pass this need to pass the bill now without further delay, without the amendment, because then that sends it back to the House and starts the process, and the time keeps ticking. We are losing precious lives, and as I continue to say, those lives matter. Every moment matters.
That's right.
And we need to continue to press our members and ask them to vote yes on the PACT Act. Thank you.
Thank you, Candace. Yes.
Thank you, Candace. My name is Corey Titus. I'm with the Military Officers Association. Last Thursday, we were standing over there at the Senate swamp. We expected it to be a celebration rally. We were sorely disappointed after 25 senators changed their vote and it voted against the PACT Act. Every single veteran and every single family member felt the floor fall out from underneath them when the bill was not taken up by the United States Senate, despite overwhelming support just a month ago. Nothing, absolutely nothing was added to the bill, and only one sentence was taken out. Lives are on the line. Every single day we wait on this bill, we're losing veterans. Survivors are missing out on money that is owed to them. We need to move quickly on this bill, and we need every single American's help to tell their senators that this needs to be their priority. This needs to be taken up right away, and they should not go home on their August recess until this is done. Thank you.
Hello. Good morning, everyone. My name is Sharon Hodge. I represent Vietnam Veterans of America, and I just want to ask you all, if not now, when? When is Congress going to stop playing lives with our veterans? It's a political gamesmanship that we just saw with the disgusting vote that happened last week. How embarrassing it is that members of Congress say they support veterans, but they really don't. They were on the floor high-fiving each other, fist-bumping one another. Shame. Celebrating a victory for who? Not for the veterans, but for the political self-will. We want the PACT Act passed now. We don't want them to go home in August. Heck, what do they do when they go home in August? Nothing. You never see them unless they call you for a meeting or a press conference, or they want to shake a veteran's hand. No, we don't want you to shake a veteran's hand. We want you to pass the PACT Act. We want you to pass the PACT Act now. And if not now, when? When means right now. Don't go home. Take care of the men and women that served this country in time of war and stood in front of the Constitution and said, I support this nation. You don't support these veterans. You only support yourselves. So do the right thing for our nation's veterans. They deserve more. Have a great day.
Hello, everyone. My name is Matthew Schwartzman, and I serve as the Director of Legislation and Military Policy for the Reserve Organization of America. I would wish you all a good morning, but truth be told, there will be no good morning until the PACT Act makes its way to the President's desk for his signature. Millions of veterans need health care and benefits right now. They signed the dotted line to serve this nation, and now it's time for the nation to have their backs just as they had ours. The time is now to advance the PACT Act. Let's get it signed. Let's get it done. And it's time to stand for our nation's veterans. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Bob Carey with the Independence Fund. We're a veterans organization that helps catastrophically disabled veterans, their families, their caregivers. We also do suicide prevention programs. And yes, I stayed here all weekend in my suit. No, I didn't. We've actually, a number of us veterans organizations, we've been, this morning, we've been over on the Senate side, talking to Senate offices, telling them why they need to pass this now. Not in September, not during lame duck, now. Because people are dying now. I'm a disabled veteran, I'm a cancer survivor, and if someone were to tell me when I was going through my cancer treatment that I was going to have to wait 4, 8, 12 weeks for my next bout of cancer treatment, I would have been a little incredulous. And same as any other veteran should be. No bill is going to be perfect. This one's pretty darn good. This one's pretty darn good. I worked up here for 8 years. I didn't see bills this good before. This is a pretty darn good bill. You can always do things at the margins later. Later. Not now. Get this passed now. Get the infrastructure in place. Get this done. If you're watching at home, 202-224-3121. That's 202-224-3121. You can call. They'll patch you through to your senator. Say, I want you to pass the PACT Act now. And for senators, I was here on Friday night. These people are all here. These people are all here. But the light on the top of the dome was not on. Because whenever either chamber of Congress is in session, there's a light up in that dome. It's pretty cool. I love driving down Pennsylvania Avenue, seeing that light on. But it wasn't on because no one was here. So if we don't get this done on the vote either tonight or tomorrow night, and someone motions to recess, as Mr. Stewart said, object, stay in all night, bring out the cots, get the coffee. I made the offer before. If you're here tomorrow morning, I'll bring you coffee and donuts, Senate. We'll be here. There's plenty of stuff. Just come on out. We'll get you stuff. But do not leave. We don't leave our post. You shouldn't either. Get this done. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. My name is Caitlin Petrick, and I represent Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America's over 425,000 members. 86% of those have said that they have suffered effects due to burn pits. That is an extremely large amount. And I am here to say that we must pass the PACT Act now. I'm going to piggyback on something that Bob just said, talking about when he was diagnosed with cancer. I'm the mother of a cancer survivor. I cannot imagine the rage that I would feel if my son's doctor had told me that he had to wait 6 weeks for care. And these people up here, these are the things that they have heard, whether it's them or their family members who have passed. We cannot wait anymore. This is not just an issue of burn pits. This is a mental health issue, in fact. Because we have veterans who are dying because they cannot pay their bills, because they don't want to be here anymore. They don't want their families to suffer because they are suffering. We cannot delay. We are losing veterans every single day, and who knows how many of those are due to burn pits. We cannot do this anymore. So to call your senators, use this QR code. It's so easy. Just use the QR code and tell them to pass the PACT Act. We are not going anywhere. We will not leave. This will get passed this week. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
So my name is Samantha Turner, and I'm here with, can you hear me? Okay. Okay. So my name is Samantha Turner, and I'm here with Vets for the People. And I just want to slow things down for just a second. And I want us to have a moment of silence for those of us who aren't here anymore. Yeah, please. The people who were affected, the people who were the families that were affected, the folks that are fighting now, and the folks that are no longer with us. They mattered, and we matter. Yes. We matter. We should not be subject to the games that are being played with our lives, with the folks that work in that building for us. Right. Period. What we want is we want the act passed now. We want games to stop now. We want the games with our lives to stop now. Pass the PACT Act, and then we want a meeting with the people who made the decision to not pass it. We want a meeting with the White House and with the leadership, and we want answers because we don't ever want this to happen again. We served you, we fought for you, now you fight for us. Call your senators right now and demand that they pass this, and then we're going to talk with them to make sure this never, ever happens again. Because we matter and they matter.
Hello everyone, my name is Amanda Barbosa and I'm with Burn Pits 360. More importantly, I'm a military spouse and a veteran myself. And I'm out here and I've been out here since Thursday, since the
Last week we were talking.
say that this is unacceptable. My husband, Rafael Barbosa, is currently... Okay, yeah, Rafael Barbosa has stage 4 colon cancer, and it's unacceptable that they're letting partisan politics and games cause these soldiers to die. Every delay means people will die. Call your senator and tell them this is not okay and they need to pass the PACT Act. Thank you.
We're moving across the street. Thank you so much.
Folks, we gotta move across the street. If you could just follow Rosie. We're gonna play follow the leader for a second.
Hey, Rosie, you apply for the long morning.
Make sure we clean up the bottles and stuff, guys.
Doug, do you mind standing in this photo with us really quick before we move?
Oh, thank you, sir. I'm sorry to have done that to you.
I work on the house side.
Veterans are often inconvenienced. Hence why we're out here.
Oh yeah, they're right here watching.
You guys, we're just moving to this side. That's it. Nothing changes.
They tell me I should talk to my girls outside of town. On this side, I gotta go.
Oh, okay. So, for us to have the captain in the background, we should probably stand here and let the reporter stand there.
Okay, there we go. Shift, change over.
I'm gonna call live. Can you live this number? Just call live, right?
Hey, in the grass, everyone. We just got the word in the grass. So, in the grass.
We've gotta move all the way into the grass, we're being told. Please watch your step.
He's just here on your own. Okay.
I've been here since the
Oh, wonderful. Guess I'm kind of weave in. What did you think? What did you mean by sunblock? Suntan lotion. No. Usually if we're over here, it's
Hey Jay, that's my bag, just so you know.
got it.
Cool, right?
Yep. You move that one. Oh, for all of us.
You know, it was I bought a bamboo cutting board for someone.
Someone's still got to be out there. Why are all the signs out here?
Police came and said,
Never mind. All right, David. We've been ordered back. She's being interviewed right now, so I think we can just set up. I think we'll be fine. What's going on? Can we kind of get everybody right here, with the backs to that?
Yeah.
Form up on me. To this.
Right here.
Right? Hey, everybody, just come over here. Backs to the Form up on me. Back to the building. Right in here.
So you want a half circle here?
Everybody scoot down like 5 steps this way.
All right, short people to the front, tall people to the back. If you're taller than the person in front of you, tap them on the shoulder. We don't remember how to do this.
You want to sit heel bend here?
I'm good. So if anyone needs the sunscreen, I brought it. It's all over here, so just hit me up and we'll spray down. That's terrible, right? I'd be an honor for you to hold it. Like that. Maybe like that.
Oh, you already got signed. There's space up here in front too. We're actually allowed to sit down over here instead of standing. So if folks want to sit down.
We got no noise, Nate.
No noise, no noise. I gotta turn it around. There you go. Yeah, hey, yeah.
All right, yeah.
Getting better.
Oh, sorry. Let me give the mic to someone who has the authority to talk about this, please.
Yes. I don't know where Matt disappeared to. He might be in the abyss over there. Sorry about that, folks. Sorry about the inconvenience. Veterans, we're kind of used to this. It's always like a hurry up and wait situation, right? We're in the middle of something, something's getting good. It's getting a little spicy, and then we're told to move. So we appreciate it. You know, we haven't, truth be told, I'm going to tell you some truth here. We haven't really had an issue at all. Capitol Police have been a blessing. Many of them are veterans themselves who have been on watch, been on guard, been on duty, who have spoken to us about what they're going through, what they've experienced in service. And hearing our stories, they've been sympathetic to us. They've been hanging out with us. They've been wonderful. We have not had a problem yet. Today, what, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes? I don't even know. 5 minutes ago, we were just told we had to move. Get all of our stuff, get all of our gear, and move a bunch of disabled veterans over here into the grass, which is hard to get to. How easy was it to get over here?
It wasn't the easiest, but I'm glad you mentioned it because we're getting asked to move again.
Beautiful.
But it's not that far, it's just right across the way here, folks. On the other side of this small structure here, on the other side of the cars, there is a grassy section that is ours for the rest of the day. Frankly, it's a good thing because our numbers grew.
Yes.
Because people are here paying attention. We got a little bit too big. It's not a bad thing sometimes.
It's not a bad thing.
Not a bad thing, but if we can, I know everybody just packed up. Let's police up our stuff and move about 50 yards that way.
It's all good. I'm telling everybody that I know lives up there that they better go for you. Thank you, brother. Thank you for everything you're doing for our country. Thank you.
Oh, go ahead.
You are showing up.
Oh, you need this back?
So thank you.
Listen, and you're doing the exact same thing, but I'm serious.
Follow you. I have no idea where I'm going, so I just follow orders. I think I'm heading there.
That way.
No clue, but you know what? I'm enjoying the exercise. Is it technically a rock march if the weight's in the front? Okay. By the way, love the shirt. You read mine?
I saw that. That's awesome.
I'm from South Carolina. Okay. What about you?
I'm from Florida, but my mom lives in Maryland, so kind of opposite.
Well, I live here in Alberta, so I am here till this ends. I will pull memberships until they tell me they don't want me. Or this gets passed. Alright, am I going the right direction? This looks like
Can I just throw that on?
You know, that makes a whole lot of sense. I'm from Carolina, so it doesn't like make a lot of sense.
I'm from Texas, so our education system ain't much better.
I'm not talking about education, I'm talking about we're tenacious fun. We're like fire ants.
Hey, someone's trying to call me. No, I missed the call. That's why I called you. I didn't know who was calling me. Where are we going?
I don't really know. I think we're going this way. I don't think they were with us. So.
Hey, what are you asking me? I'm at the Capitol now with like Jon Stewart. Well, I mean, I left at 9:30. Until 9, I didn't see anything. No. Yep, no problem. Yeah, bye.
Watch your phone, Josie. That's a
Thank you, guys. Thank you. All right? All right, let's hit it. Yep.
They've moved them over there now. The majority of us are heading over to hit the offices, and then we're coming back, I think. Some of us are right now.
Everyone who wants to. We take everyone by their offices and just make it happen.
How's everybody doing? Everybody okay? Anybody need water? I don't know where the coolers are. They're somewhere over here. Anybody familiar with Star Wars? Where are my Star Wars fans? Yes. We are the Resistance. Okay? We're not going anywhere. They can move us 3-4 times, but we'll get back in their thing. We're going to find out in a little bit what we can do.
Hey, is Lindy there?
This morning, just for everybody's awareness, we did have to move all of our gear
Josh, what's up?
off the steps, but then we were told we could still be on the steps. And now we have been completely removed. So hopefully, we can leave our stuff here. It's nice and shady. It's a good location
sorry, I'm by
for people to
myself
nap
here.
and take breaks. But hopefully we'll be able to move people back to the Capitol that don't even see us or hear us from here. I hope.
Has the interview started yet?
And I'm walking.
I mean, so we did have. Okay, so I'll hold steady on this.
Might happen. Yeah. They said that as long as our personal belongings are over here, we have to
be all the way over here.
Someone has to be here with our stuff.
Yeah.
And we can go over there.
Probably smells like shit.
Well, yeah, I think he followed me up from Texas. So. Yeah.
Carly, where's your painting?
Oh, it's over here.
Give an honorary shout out to whoever made it.
Yes.
They can't face us.
They don't want to hear it. So they have their goons out of the way.
No, it's fine. I appreciate it. They could blame January 6th for that.
Cowards! What's wrong? You can't face veterans? You gotta move us out of the way? You don't want to hear us talk? You don't want to have a conversation?
There you go.
We can talk over here. We can talk all day. Veterans die. We don't have time for this. Veterans die every day on the waiting list. And let's talk about what discretionary versus mandatory state actually means. They're trying to get rid of this bill after it passes. So they can go ahead and deny the funding either next year or the year after that. If it's mandatory, they have to spend that money. So why not come talk to us? Come have a conversation.
So we'll get a Vigil clarification. I think the magic number was 20. You got it. How are you all holding up? Tired? Yeah. I'm hoping not to get when are you all heading back up in the winter? Yeah, when they found the bell. David used to be strict. Said like, oh, sorry, we couldn't get there fast enough. Couldn't fly in until later. Wait, what did they say? That's why they can't do the vote today. They're not doing it today? No, they're doing it tomorrow. Really? Yeah. That's bullshit. No. They're actually just on the vote? No. Well, tomorrow. We'll see. They said they're going to get committee vote? Yeah. They said they couldn't get enough human involved.
Here you go.
So we've been out here.
All right, folks. We're slowly getting back into business here.
This thing's still on. Testing 1, 2, 6. This thing's still on.
So we're gonna get started again. If we can get folks lined up with their signs again, we'll get storytellers over here.
Everyone with a sign, come over.
Anyone with a sign, come on over. I know it's hot.
Without a sign, come over.
I know you're hot. I know you're tired. I know you're angry and frustrated. This is twisted.
Where's Jen?
We got bail money.
There's Jen.
Jen, come on over.
So, Jen Berg's been a fierce advocate on this and has been fighting all the way. And when they started to get this idea that they're just going to do a vigil on there, Jen obviously wanted to come down here. But I think if you hear her story and you hear the true process, because I don't know if you can tell, but Jen is a young person. I noticed that when I first saw her. I was like, there's a huge difference between Jen and I. She's a young, so look at her face, and then look at my face, and then look at hers. So I clearly have been eroded by wind, rain, and other things. She has not. This is the cost of burn pits. Please listen to her story. Jen.
So as you can see, I'm younger. I'm 35. I look healthy, right? Not missing any limbs. Don't have anything crazy going on physically. But internally, I am pretty sick. And still trying to figure out what exactly I'm sick with is the hard part. I was in Kandahar from 2010 to 2011. I served as a volunteer medic over there, so often on the flight line with all the dust getting kicked up. I also was an avid runner. I decided to even do a half marathon while I was over there, so just inhaled all the dust like every one of these people standing up here, not thinking long-term effects of that. When I came home, I literally went
after traveling from Afghanistan to Japan the long way around the globe, I went from the airport to the ER and had pneumonia and bronchitis. And my 2 weeks of R&R was me in and out of the hospital in his bed. That was hard. And that's when the post-traumatic stress also kicked in, because now I went from being over there to being by myself, isolated, thinking about everything I just saw and witnessed while I was doing the medics and mortuary stuff. Fast forward the next several years, I would be in and out of ERs. I think I had over 70 ER trips within 3 years, with intense migraines, coughing, can't breathe. I'm also living in Colorado, and they'd say, oh, it's just the altitude. I'm like, I lived here before I joined the military, and I was fine. I can't even run a mile. I can't walk up a set of stairs without being winded. And I'm like, what's wrong with me? I'm missing work. My supervisor is harshing on me. What's wrong with you? You need to get to work. So now I'm getting in trouble. And I actually end up trying to take my life because I just can't handle it anymore, and I just feel crazy in my head. I spent the next couple of weeks in the hospital. Came back to a commander that told me my generation just doesn't know how to fail. And I said, well, you know, I feel like I'm the one being failed here. So fast forward, I ended up getting medically retired for the migraines and some other stuff. Before I left the service, though, they did do a scan on my lungs, and it showed ground glass nodules that have also since grown since then, and pleural thickening, and sorry the medical terms, but just a mess inside, and also then started some of the gut issues that is also linked. So when I got my benefits and healthcare from the VA, I got everything except for the toxic exposure stuff. Nothing for the lungs, nothing for the gut, anything like that. I continued with life. I still like to go hike in the mountains. I rock climbed, I climbed 14ers, and I went really, really slow until one day I got to about 13,700. I'm scrambling on some rocks, and I start to pass out. And thankfully, because I had a friend with me, was able to help me get down, and I went to the ER. By the time I got to the ER, my oxygen sat was down in 70, 71, and I would be on oxygen for the next couple of days. Still trying to figure out what exactly is happening. Those 2 days cost me $10,000 that I'm still paying off today. That was just one of the bills. You know, and I thought, I was like, you know, I could go to the VA, I could try to fight this, but I just didn't have the energy. I didn't have it in me to do it. And then finally, a couple years ago, again, it started to get worse. Can't breathe, I can't run, and the migraines are getting worse. I spent 2 months of 2020 in bed completely because I couldn't lift my head up. So that was the time that, you know, now I need to go to the VA, I need to try this, something's got to give. So finally I go to the VA, I actually find a really great service officer to help me, and we were able to go back to my medical records and link and make a service connection because I started showing symptoms. So essentially I was one of the lucky ones, right? Because they could easily show that I started showing symptoms in the service. And several months later I finally got approved. I say this, that I was one of the lucky ones, because right now 80% of veterans who go and file claims with the VA for toxic exposure related illnesses don't get approved, they get denied because they didn't start showing symptoms within their military service. And as we all know, these symptoms take years or even decades to manifest, just like we saw with Vietnam veterans and with Gulf War veterans. So fast forward today, I'm still having all the health effects. I'm handling it, it's called managing them, but they still can't quite figure out what's going on. And now my gut issues, as embarrassing as it is, it really is embarrassing still, have gotten worse over the time. I'm 35, I'm a female, and I'm about to get a colonoscopy. What's wrong with that picture, right? Thursday, I decided to come up to sit on the steps with my brothers and sisters in arms at the Capitol. Got up here right in the beginning. Senator Gillibrand came out with pizzas. She brought her dog. I brought my dog, and there started the Pups for the PACT Act. And all of a sudden, I'm hunching over in pain, trying to hide it, and everyone's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "I'm fine, I'm fine." because that's what I do. I smile and I say I'm fine because I'm too embarrassed to say anything. And next thing I know, I'm throwing up over in the bushes because the pain is making me that sick. Thankfully, it comes and goes, and usually when I have an episode and I get sick, it starts to feel better, and I was able to stay up to 11. I decided to take the weekend and take it easy because, you know, as much as we want to fight up here sometimes, you got to always remember to take care of yourself too. So I decided, well, I'll go back up there Sunday evening and stand there again. Bring my little puppy Apollo because he's a great therapy dog for everyone up here. And then I had another episode so bad that I couldn't move, couldn't sit up, sitting there with a heating pad and getting really depressed about it because it's like, gosh, I can't even walk the half a mile from where I live to the Capitol to just stand with them and make a difference. Today, my belly's swollen. I'm still having gut pain. It's not as bad. But sometimes we need to get out here and share the dirty things that are embarrassing, that are gross, because that's the only way we get legislation like the PACT Act passed, is being real and telling these senators, this is why we need you to pass this. For all of these veterans standing up here, all their families, all their brothers and sisters, everybody, anybody that knows somebody who's deployed, they might not be sick now, but they might be sick in the future. We need to make sure that we're taken care of. The other point of this is that look at the recruiting numbers. What is it, 50% down right now? If I had kids, I wouldn't want them to sign up. This PACT Act not only takes care of the past generation of Vietnam veterans, Gulf War veterans, the present generation of post 9/11 veterans, but it will also set up the framework for future warfighters, because we all know there's always going to be a war. Whether we're in war or we're not, it's coming. The next one's always coming. And we need to make sure that this is the last time, as veterans, we have to fight this hard to get the health care that we need when they sent us to war. They made a promise. We need to make them keep that promise.
That's right.
Just still on. America, we need you. We have fought for your unalienable right to life, and now we are being denied that same right. Help us. Pass the PACT Act. My name is Paul McMillan. I'm an advocate with Burn Pits 360. And for all the people who want to rally around the opposition calling us a gimmick, I have a question for you. We've been here for years. Rosie Torres has been here for 13 years. Where were you? Why is it that my friend Chad Bayer, who is working on his own rally in Pennsylvania right now, was never allowed to talk to Pat Toomey until he was in an appointment with Jon Stewart? Why is it that the door was always closed in her face? We are sick and we are dying. Myself, I deployed in 2004 to 2005, and I didn't start getting sick until 2015. I work in critical care, and I wound up as a patient in the same ICU that I now work in. I had a pneumonia that no one could explain. My right lung was filled with ultimately about 5 liters of infected fluid, so my lung couldn't expand. Ultimately, they had to split my ribs apart and scrape it out from the inside. Let me tell you, this sounds like more fun than it actually is. Everyone here has their own scars. Maybe we can see them, maybe we can't, but everyone here is suffering. Saying that our bill is a gimmick is just a flat-out lie. It's an opportunity to try and put spending caps on. We have been fighting this for years because of the denial rate of 80%. We are sitting here in retrospect because people couldn't be bothered to take the time to say, hey, maybe we should do this in a way that doesn't poison us. Let's be clear. We are not going to settle for a bill that poisons us again. We are not going to say to all these people over here, you 20% over here we'll take care of, and the rest of you, forget it. We're not going away. Fix this. Who's next?
My name is Kimberly Hughes. I'm here to honor my late husband, Gary Hughes, who served for 27 years proudly as a major of the United States Army. Thank you so much. Very proud of him. He served in the Persian Gulf. He served in Iraq. He served in Afghanistan. Upon his arrival in Afghanistan, he came home and he was not well, which was odd because he was perfectly healthy to go. Otherwise, he wouldn't have gone. So he came home. He had respiratory issues. He had problems breathing, problems running. He was in excellent shape. Ran every day. He also was having a hard time swallowing. So we went to the doctor. Doctor says, you know what? It's probably acid reflux. It's probably this, that, and the other. Don't worry about it. Gave him some medication. Not too long after that, he got a phone call, and he needed to be rushed to the emergency immediately for the first of his 16 blood transfusions because he had stomach and liver cancers. It ultimately met to his brain twice with 2 brain surgeries and sadly passed away in 2018. Now, that's just my story. And I can go ahead and I can tell you all about the chemotherapies, and I can tell you about the radiation treatments, the endless medications, the trips to the doctor's offices, the emergency 911 calls. But I'm not here to tell you about all that. I'm here to tell you what it's like to be a widow, what it's like for this bill to get passed. And I am just one of many of the 25 states that I have gone all around the United States to talk to about widows and widowers that are going through the same thing. They need help. They need care. There's caretakers out there that can't be here today that want to be here. And I'm here on their behalf to let them know I'm fighting for you guys. And the families that have been forgotten and left behind, I'm here for you guys too. I'm just one story, yes. But I will tell you, this is not about blue. This is not about red. This is about red, white, and blue, ladies and gentlemen. This is about our American veterans. This is bipartisan. This is all of us. Look at it. This is all of us. We're America. My husband and so many others, they have passed away, paid the ultimate sacrifice. Did this for all of us and our freedoms. Take care of them. Take care of their families left behind. It's amazing. They passed away. They're not here now. But you know what? Us families are. And we're here to continue their fight because it ain't over yet. Oh, no, it's not. Am I right, Paul?
What Kim's not telling you is after Gary died, her family lost everything. They lost their business, they lost their home, and they had to go on food stamps. This is America's promise to our veterans right now.
And to these wonderful people behind me, they're absolutely amazing. Teresa, who's holding up a sign right there. Those are their families fallen. These are more of those that have passed away from toxic air exposures due to burn pits. This is a real thing. This is so real that my late husband took our son, our teenage son, to the store to buy a suit, a black suit, to wear for his own funeral. Took our daughter to her high school dance, father-daughter dance, and he knew that it was his last dance, and it was their last time together. That's real. People are committing suicide over this bill. It's sad. Let's just do this right, get it over with, and do it together. Do it together. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate you guys. Teresa, would you like to say something? The VFW will be here anyways.
I will.
Okay, hi. Yeah, there's a mic. I'm loud. Thank you all for listening.
Oh, I'm loud too, but I'll use the mic.
Thank you all for listening. On behalf of the widows.
My name's Don. I'm not part of Burn Pit 360. I didn't plan on talking today, but I know how the budget works. I know how the federal budget works. I know what a lie they're telling. I didn't get to Iraq until 2010. I have colon cancer, and it was diagnosed the day after Memorial Day. I had surgery on June 23rd, and my first round of chemo starts in Wisconsin on Wednesday. I'm lucky. Think about that. I have to stand here in front of the Capitol and say that I'm lucky with my colon cancer. because the VA is actually treating me. The VA saved my life. It is going to continue to save my life for the next 4 months as I go through 12 rounds of chemotherapy. I'm stage 3C, which is just this side of stage 4. We barely caught it in time. Every single veteran who was exposed to a burn pit and develops a disease that can be traced back to that exposure needs the same kind of care that I'm getting. No excuses. And that's why you need mandatory funding. If somebody gets sick at the beginning of the fiscal year, there's enough money to go around to treat them. If they get sick at the end of the fiscal year in September, maybe that money's not there anymore, and they'll have to wait for their treatment. It's not enough just to say that they can get the treatment. You have to fund it. And for Toomey and all of these senators who flipped their votes to pretend that something got snuck into the bill, that's not just a lie. That's breaking faith with every veteran. Those are the same people that will stand up on Memorial Day or the 4th of July or Veterans Day and talk about how great our veterans are and thank you for your service. This is the thank you we get? Telling some veterans, hey, too bad you got sick.
And then they fist bumped and celebrated.
Too bad you got sick. We're not going to take care of you. Every generation of veterans has had to fight this damn fight. We've had to protest to get the benefits that we should deserve. Let's make no mistake about this. All throughout the Iraq and Afghanistan wars, everybody in that building was perfectly happy to go fund overseas contingency operations with borrowed money. They mortgaged the future of this country to go fight those wars. And now we're standing here telling them it's time to pay the piper. And they're not willing to do it. I'm lucky. And I shouldn't have to stand here and say that. And I'm going to be sitting in an infusion center in a VA hospital for 6 hours, 48 hours from now. And if that bill isn't passed, none of these people deserve to sit in that building. They certainly don't deserve the word honorable in front of their names right now. And my senator, Ron Johnson, is one of them. He's got a history with veterans. Back in his first term, he talked about how Veterans' Choice could be the first step toward privatizing VA care. The Madison, Wisconsin Veterans Hospital is more highly rated than all of the other hospitals in Madison. It's on the website. Don't take my word for it. It's one of the top 10 VA hospitals in the country. Yeah, I'm lucky. This is just disgusting. And these people voting the way they did last week, that is just disgusting. There's no excuse for it, and they need to undo that damage now. These signs are the truth.
Read them.
These signs are the truth. Senators lie, veterans die. That's what we're dealing with right now. And I get that very few of you will understand the budget the way that I do. But that language was written into the original version of the bill for a reason. It was the right reason. It wasn't some sneaky backdoor midnight gimmick like they do on a lot of budget bills. It's written the way it is because it is the way it should be. And there is not enough that we can say to say thank you to the people who have supported the PACT Act. And there's not enough that we can say to put these people in disgrace.
That's right.
They don't deserve to draw another paycheck on the public dime until they fix this. And then we'll all be back again years from now for some other stupid thing that they do. I'll take that chance. We have to win this. And we have to win it now, and they have to admit their mistake. No excuses. Thank you.
My name is James Powers. I live in Canton, Ohio. And on Wednesday, when the news broke of this, I was heartbroken. I thought we had it in the bag. We had 84 votes. Nothing changed, and all of a sudden, 25 people flipped. And this bill is starting to become being held hostage. We took to these stairs on Thursday, thinking we were going to be initially planning to celebrate. I mean, this bill passed. We were finally going to get 3.5 million veterans and their family members the care and benefits that they earned and deserve. But it didn't happen. So when I heard the news in Ohio, I made the decision, because I am an Ohioan. I served in the Ohio National Guard, and I read in my local papers for quite some time now the story of Sergeant First Class Robinson, Heath Robinson. I served in the Ohio Army National Guard. I deployed with the Ohio Army National Guard in 2009. Not the same time as Heath, but I was at Camp Victory. I was at Camp Taji. I was at Balad. I was at all of these bases. I breathed all the same things that all of these veterans have breathed in. I've been home for 12 years. It was 10 years before it got him. I'm wondering if the next time I go to the doctor thinking I have a cold, if they're going to do an x-ray and find something even worse. I found out last night how personal of a connection I actually had to Sergeant Robinson. I mean, other than being envious of him for being our non-commissioned officer of the year for 2 years. He was a combat lifesaver instructor. He taught all the members of the Ohio National Guard how to save the man on your left and the woman on your right. But who's going to save? Who was there to save him? Nobody. Nobody was there. So I went to Cleveland and I tried asking one of these 25, Senator Rob Portman, why? Why a bill named after an Ohioan, one of your constituents who is dead now because of your guys' delay, had to suffer more because of your guys' delay? Did he answer me? No. Outside of his office with a Fox 8 news chopper overhead, me and 2 other veterans. He didn't want to come talk to us. He went and sat with a leadership team of a corporation in Ohio instead of coming and talking to his constituents. So I came here because when I said I was going to hold a rally and I wanted accountability to the senators that don't want to give 3.5 million veterans and their family members, when he didn't want to give me my time, 2 veterans came to me and gave me their time and wanted answers too. So I paid it forward and I got on a train Saturday morning at 3 a.m. and I came here. I got off that train. I dropped my bags in a hotel room, and I've been right here on the stairs with everybody else. And like it's been continuously said, we're not leaving until this bill passes. There are men and women standing here right now pushing through the pain, physical and emotional, that they've suffered from this so that they might get some relief. Plenty of them that aren't standing here anymore that were begging for relief. Begging. The talker and I had yesterday in a hearing, I mean, the residual effects, he's gone now. But his daughter? Yeah. What do we got? What's everyone's answer to his daughter? Work? Partisanship? How do you explain that to a kid? I'm worried about having to explain that to my kid. And I can't imagine everyone up here, the conversations we've had to have. So we're trying to have it now with everyone. Please, get this bill passed. Call your senators. If you're nearby, come. If your senator's office is nearby, go there and tell them, demand them to get in there and pass this bill. We have veteran service officers from the 60 veteran service organizations that came together on this bill, waiting, paperwork ready to go to submit these claims once this bill is approved onto the president's desk, who has assured us, who tried to come here and assure us that as soon as this makes it to his desk, it will become law and 3.5 million veterans can finally start to maybe try healing and getting the care and benefits they earn. So help us get this bill passed, because otherwise we're not leaving. We don't leave people behind in combat, and we're sure in heck not going to leave them now.
Well, I guess I don't have to tell you much about my son-in-law.
Susan, we can't hear you.
Can't.
Real close, talk loud.
What? Yeah, I'll use that.
I'm Sergeant First Class Heath Robinson's mother-in-law. Sergeant First Class Heath Robinson, honoring our PACT Act, was named in my son-in-law's honor and memory. I'm gonna just give you a little synopsis of what we went through with Heath's battle. Heath was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer in a very rare form that could have only been caused by prolonged toxic exposure in March of 2017. He left Iraq in October of 2007. He was active duty with the Ohio Army National Guard because he was employed by them. So his health care was phenomenal. He had the TRICARE, we had no bills, everything was wonderful. About the time he was put on a medical separation and he went into the VA system, everything fell apart. Everything went to hell. The VA delayed cancer treatment approval. The VA delayed him prescription medication to mitigate an excruciatingly painful side effect from his cancer treatment because the cost of the medication was too expensive at $2,000 a month. They told him no. He suffered. He begged me and my daughter to overdose him. The VA denied him the medication that would have mitigated that suffering. They applied for VA caregiver benefits. They were denied. Even though he was rated as the highest level of needing caregiver benefits. They recognized that his wife was providing a very high level of caregiver, 24/7. But you know why they denied him? Because he could not prove that the burn pits caused his lung cancer. The burden of proof is put on these veterans to prove why they are sick and why they are dying. It's only common sense that if you're exposed to so many toxic elements, you're going to get sick and die, but the VA says, no, you got to prove it. We couldn't prove it until after he was dead. My daughter paid $1,800 to have a lung autopsy done, coordinated by Dr. Robert Miller of Vanderbilt University. What that lung autopsy showed was he not only had lung cancer, he had tumors the size of softballs in his lungs. He possibly had constrictive bronchiolitis, which we didn't know about, but his lung tissue was so obliterated from the cancer they didn't know for sure. And Dr. Robert Miller is one of the leading pulmonologists in the country to diagnose constrictive bronchiolitis. He also had pulmonary fibrosis, which we didn't know.
He also had severely deformed blood vessels in his lungs, and he also had unidentifiable cells. But, hey, was this toxic exposure that caused this? I don't know. That's what the VA says. Prove it. So not only am I here today for my family, or I've been fighting this battle for 5 years with Rosie Torres and Burn Pits 360 and all these kick-ass Burn Pits 360 warriors. I'm here because I made a promise to Heath that he wanted his story to be told, because there was nobody that was going to save him. There was nothing in it for him. There's nothing in this bill that's going to benefit my family, except my promise to Heath that I would continue to tell his story and fulfill his dying wish, that we would get his story out so that his brothers and sisters in arms who are sick will get the health care they deserve. I don't want to see any more families have to suffer the way my family has. Do you know what it's like to watch someone suffocate? Sorry. For 12 hours, slowly suffocate, while my daughter is holding him on top of her on their living room floor. The VA denied them caregiver benefits. The VA denied him medication to mitigate the pain that was so bad he begged us to kill him. What I got to say to the Republicans that voted no, including Senator Rob Portman, Heath Robinson's senator, screw you. This is ridiculous. You don't give a damn about veterans. You guys could sit up there and fist bump and celebrate that you denied care for dying war heroes. That's all I have to say.
Who's next?
I just assume this thing's working, so you can't hear me. Can you guys hear me?
It might not be on.
Is it on? All right.
There you
I think
go.
we got something. All right. Hey, my name is Nate Kempthorne. I am a U.S. Navy and U.S. Air Force veteran. I was diagnosed after deploying several years later with allergic asthma. A couple years after that with allergic rhinitis. A couple years after that with sinusitis. Then with acute sinusitis. And then with just chronic sinusitis. I'm one of the lucky ones. They haven't found cancer yet. I'm also one of the lucky ones that has presumptives. That's when they go, you know what? We presume this was, and that just happened I believe last September. I'm one of the lucky ones. My friends aren't as lucky. I have a friend who has three kids. He's got 2 kinds of cancer. He's got it in his tongue and in his throat. He's been battling cancer for 2 years. They keep cutting chunks out of his tongue and out of his throat. He's got a claim pending right now that's waiting on those 25. And I know we're giving a lot of attention to these 25, but what about the rest of the Republicans that voted no the first time and the second time? All right? These guys were terrible because they flip-flopped. The other people were worse. They were worse. So I know we're giving a lot of attention to Ted Cruz and Pat Toomey and some other pseudo-celebrities. But the other ones were worse. They voted twice against it. Okay? I have another friend. He was putting in the fiber optic system, fiber optic network in Bagram. Got into some toxic waste that the Soviets left behind. He has 36 tumors all over his body. He has one that's inside of his nose. He's my age. They cut it out of his nose every 5 years so he can keep breathing. I have another friend. She ran 2 triage clinics in Baghdad. Every now and then she just can't breathe. She's got esophageal asthma. I can just keep going. I got another friend. He ended up living with my family. My wife is here, my daughter's here. Our other daughter is at home taking care of our dog so we could be here. And he ended up living with us because he was homeless. He was a federal employee. They fired him because he couldn't keep working. When he came back from deployment to the Middle East, they couldn't figure out what was going on. He was a Marine. He was jacked. This dude was a monster. He looks like a skeleton. Okay? And they're waiting not just on these 25, okay, but every other Republican that voted against it the first time. All right? I don't give a damn about Ted Cruz and Pat Toomey. Those guys, we need to forget them. I can't wait to never hear about them. Okay? I think of people like Hastert and Trent Lott and other people we've forgotten. I want to forget them. Okay, let's just forget them. And the last thing I want to bring up is, while we're talking about the veterans and how they're suffering, all right, my friends, whenever I call them, and they're talking about wanting to kill themselves, and that happens all the goddamn time. They're sick of it. They're sick of it. They're sick of being sick. And the only thing that they're staying alive for is their children and their spouses. It's the only reason they're staying alive. They're fighting to stay alive for them. And this bill provides survivor benefits for spouses, okay? That means money for the rest of their life to help them pay bills when their husband or wife or life partner passes away from one of these illnesses, okay? But you've got to get that connection. It's got to be toxin connected by VA, and there's got to be funding behind that, right? There's got to be some funds behind that connection to pay for this. They could connect it all day. If there's no money behind it from this act, they're not going to get paid. The other thing it pays for is dependent education allowance. That's $1,300 a month for 36 months, tax-free for the spouse, surviving spouse or partner, for their children. Most of the people I'm speaking about today have small children. They're my age. I just turned 46 yesterday. They're either 2 or 3 years older or younger than me. All right? So when we're thinking about what these Republicans are doing to veterans, and once again, not just these 25, every single one of them, every single one of them that votes against this, they're taking money out of the children's hands. They're taking money out of the surviving spouse's hands, all right, for the rest of their lives. That's multi-generational trauma. Multi-generational trauma is what they are doing. So I hope that they understand they're committing crimes against children. All right? And we've had reports of at least 2 veterans who've taken their lives since this bill was blocked. Because this bill was blocked, they gave up. I want to tell all my veteran friends out there, don't give up. Hang in there. Give us a minute. And I want to tell everyone in the Senate, and this includes the Democrats, Get your butts down here. We did our job. Do your job. I'm a nobody. Take this mic away from me. I want one of the Democrat senators to come and take this microphone away from me. Please. They'll listen to you. You'll get cameras out here. I'm grateful to everyone that's here. They'll have the whole world here. All right? I want the whole world here. I want the people who voted for it, and I want the people who voted against it. In this building, it takes them about 2 minutes to run a vote. What the hell are you waiting for? Let's go. Don't wait till tomorrow. Don't wait till Tuesday so you can fly in on a late flight on a Monday, get some drinks with your friends, get up really late in the morning, have some brunch, maybe some mimosas, and then wander over and maybe do your job. Nobody in the military gets to do that. Get down here. Do your damn job.
Take it back.
So I'm his daughter. My name is Natalia. I'm 18 years old. For my whole life, he's had to suffer. He's had to deal with everything. He's been coughing my whole life. I wanted to take a minute and talk about the children of veterans, because I am one. My dad is 100% permanent and total disabled, which means there's a likely chance he will never get better. And that means that there's also a chance that I won't get to have as much time with him as I would like. And there's a lot of kids out there that are dealing with the same things that I am. They have to watch their parents suffer. They have to watch their parents' friends suffer. We're tired of suffering. This was supposed to help. This was supposed to give them the health care that we need. But these Republicans rather virtue signal and pretend to care. They'd rather pose and take pictures with veterans and make care packages which don't do anything when they're dying. This was going to help them. And they're okay with just sitting around and waiting around when they don't have time. These veterans don't have time. They're running out of time. They need the health care now, and if they don't get it, they are dying. So they need to come out. They should have been here. The senators need to vote and pass the PACT Act. Because I'm tired. I'm tired of seeing my dad suffer. I'm tired. No one should have to deal with this. They shouldn't have to deal with this. They shouldn't have to be out here, outside, while they're suffering already. And to stand outside for 24 hours every day, to sleep outside on the steps. It's brutal. And we're doing this to them. We're allowing this to happen. Please pass the PACT Act. We need it now. Thank you.
Good job. Who's next? I'll go again. Is this still on? On June 6th, a number of us came here because we were getting ready for our first cloture vote. We came and we walked the halls. We broke down into teams and hit all 100 offices of our Senate. Our particular team went into the Senate of Marsha Blackburn. When we went in there, her veteran liaison spoke with us, and to his credit, he gave us, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes, which is a lot longer than we usually get. A lot of times we just get the door shut in our face. But he said something that was interesting. He said, you know, our concern is because this doesn't, 100% cover everyone, we feel like that picks and chooses. And we don't think that's fair. I sat there, and Kevin was around here somewhere, Joe McKay, one of our firefighters, and a number of our other people sat there and talked with him. And one of the questions we posed to him is, well, you know what? Civilian medicine, and I can tell you because I work in it, they don't know what to make of this. They don't know how to treat it. So when you take away the VA health care, really, you're taking away any option for us because there's nowhere for us to go. So how is that fair? And, again, to his credit, he seemed like something maybe clicked while he was talking to all of us, and then Senator Blackburn went down and she voted yay. Fast forward, all of a sudden, she's one of the people who flips and says, oh, you know what? We don't want to fund this after all. So where is this ardent concern that you had about fairness? Where did it go? Why is it that once again, we are out here fighting for ourselves and fighting for the people who can't be here because you decided it's no longer politically convenient? Think about that one for a minute.
Can y'all hear me? Yeah, we can hear you. Okay. My name is Linda Edwall, and no, just hold it closer to your mouth.
Right there?
There you go. Perfect.
Sorry. I don't like talking on camera. My name is Linda Eckloff, and I'm coming from Houston, Texas. I'm not a vet. No one in my family has served other than my father in World War II. My daughters are 20. They wanted to know why I was here. Why was I coming? You know what? The reason I came was for every non-vet who is sitting at home in pain, in suffering, who has been told it's in your head, who was spit on when they came back home. I'm here for every single vet that went out, whether it was Afghanistan, Iraq, the ones you see that are told it's in your head. And it affects not just vets. It affects their families, 18-year-olds. Okay, let me put it into words that, these senators will understand. Votes. An 18-year-old can vote. Let's put it to you that way. And they're listening, and they're learning, and they're not just children. They are adults, and they are the future. It's a shame, and I wish more people would come down here. You do not have to be a vet to come down here. Please come down and support everyone, please.
Hey everybody, my name's Bob Christian. I am a veteran. I served 10 years in the United States Army, spent 1 year in Iraq. There was not a burn pit where I was stationed. I was not exposed. And I was lucky enough that when I came home, I was able to get out of the service and didn't have to return endlessly as some of my buddies did. The best man at my wedding has been back and forth to Afghanistan or Iraq 8 times. He is now severely health-ridden. He has problems, and he cannot get the treatment that he needs for that. And that's because these 25 people on the sign we keep pointing to, they chose their party over their country. They're sitting up there praising their service to the nation and the things they're doing for the rest of us, and they chose their party over their country. They decided that they could play games with veterans' lives. End of story. It's not the first time they've done it. They'll be turning around by the end of the week talking about how much they love veterans, talking about how much veterans are going to be the key to the future, how much we need the veterans in our country. Well, guess what? That starts by making sure that they're taken care of when they come home. We cannot just continue to send people overseas, one conflict after another, and say, we're not going to take care of you when you get back. We're not going to cover you when you get done. We're not going to treat the things that we made happen to you. It was said earlier today, we're getting really good at physical wounds. We're getting better at mental wounds. We need to make sure we're treating all the wounds. Because I want everybody to look around real quick at the people around you. Don't think of them as veterans. Most of them out here are. But these are your neighbors. These are people that live across the fence from you. These are the people that you grocery shop with. These are the people that you go out to dinner with. These are your friends and your neighbors and your fellow countrymen. And we've got a Congress sitting up there, a Senate sitting up there, that is just not caring. And at the end of the day, that's what it's about. We have to take care of the people that take care of us. These people all took an oath to protect their nation, and they did it. And they did it honorably, and they did it well, and they come home, and they're being treated like crap. They need this to pass now. The two people that fist bumped themselves on the floor have exactly 0 days of military service between them. 0. And that's why they could so happily celebrate screwing the veterans, because they have no idea what they're talking about or what they're doing. I challenged them, just as they have been challenged, to come down here and hear the stories that I've heard today. There are people that have been out here fighting this battle for 13 years. When this failed on Thursday, I personally became so outraged. I left Georgia. I flew in. I wanted to be here. I just so happened to be running for Congress back home. This is the reason why. There is no better example of what is broken in our government that 25 people switched their vote for no other reason than to score political points. That's not how they're going to put it. It's not how they're going to put it, but we know what happened, and we know why it happened. And I am so thrilled that you guys are here doing this, and I'm glad to have been a part of it. Thank you for the mic.
Any other veterans?
Go, Gunner.
Hello, my name is Albert Gunner. I served as a hospital corpsman for the United States Navy from 2015 to 2019. I was stationed at Walter Reed Bethesda Military Medical Hospital. During that same period of service, a childhood friend of mine named Daniel Insko also joined the service. Daniel joined the Army National Guard, and during his service, he developed neuroblastoma. Now, it was never proven to be from exposure during his military service, but he was 22 years old when he died. He died a floor above where I worked at Walter Reed. His cancer progressed to the point where it metastasized throughout most of his body, and he required a double knee disarticulation. It's a very particular type of amputation. Now, I had just done one of those procedures the same week that he had one done, and I put 2 and 2 together and realized that I had cut my buddy's legs off. I didn't even know it. I couldn't recognize him on the table. I didn't recognize him after the fact. And this isn't just something that happens one time. This happens a lot. This happens all the time. Veterans die on waiting lists every day. He wasn't even a veteran. He was still active duty. Buddy of mine, Steve Dow, he's a load master, and he dealt with some pretty nasty materials during his time as load master. He brought those materials home with him and caused his wife, through handling his clothes, to contract illness. He lost his wife at 22. He's now 35, and I commiserate with him. I also lost my wife at 22, but not through any fault of the military's. Now, the military has graciously provided me with a service connection for my exposure. I'm a 60% service-connected veteran. However, there are people who are much more sick than I am, who are desperately awaiting care and desperately need that care. The PACT Act would not only provide care for those sick veterans, it would provide services for the families of those veterans if and when they pass away due to the illnesses that they have contracted during their service. Is it so much to ask that the family members of those who have decided to step up and answer the call and potentially give their all for this country, to at least have those families be taken care of after the fact? They don't have to worry about maybe going homeless, where their next meal is going to come from. Meanwhile, those 25 senators They haven't gone hungry. I'm pretty sure a day in their life. I know for a fact Ted Cruz has never missed a meal. Only one of those senators has military experience. If I'm remembering correctly, who's the really shameful one that was a veteran?
The sprinter, right? Josh Hawley?
Hawley was a
running
veteran?
man, wasn't he? Yeah.
Hawley don't look like no veteran I've ever seen. Does anyone else want to take this mic? They all have health care. Those senators, they all have health care. If they caught the diseases that these veterans have contracted, they'd have health care. Wouldn't be a question. Why are we out here fighting for our health care when the people who send us to these wars currently enjoy complete care? Why? I don't think there's a good reason.
So every one of these tags is a veteran who's died from this issue. When I was looking for these, we were trying to find a way to personify the issue and help people understand that these are human beings, not just a statistic. So first, I started off with our previous version of our fallen, but then it was clear that in order to find these names, I was going to really have to dig. I had to go through obituaries, searching through endless entries, which thankfully there's a lot more to search for because John got involved, but it also makes it a little more challenging to find things. Now, this here, one, I guarantee you this is just an aspect of what's truly out there, particularly when it comes to the suicides, because many people don't leave notes. So if we don't know exactly what their motivation really was, then it's hard to know, why they ultimately did it. One example being tagged in here for Daniel Sommers. Daniel was a soldier who just could not get care and then left this lengthy note online about why the world is better off without him and why this is the better choice for him to take his own life. So, while we're sitting here waiting for Congress to do the right thing, let's just take a few minutes to think about some of the people who have come before us and passed. And I'm just going to sit here and read this off. Sergeant First Class Heath Robinson, U.S. Army. Sergeant Wesley Black, U.S. Army. Sergeant Will Thompson, U.S. Army. Major Kevin Wilkins, United States Air Force. Sergeant Amy Mueller, United States Air Force. Major Gary Hughes, United States Army. Colonel David McCracken, United States Army. Sergeant Jennifer Kepner, United States Air Force. Sergeant First Class Fred Slape, United States Army. Robert Elsky, United States Army. Victor Jackson, United States Army. Victor was an interesting one because I was doing a town hall a while back and I was passing out flyers at one of the VFWs, and the security guard at the desk said, "Oh, hey, my brother actually passed away from cancer." So we started talking, and his cancer he died from was on our top 10 list, just from an incidental conversation. That's how prevalent this is. United States Marine Corps, Franco Pacheco. Daniel Sommers, United States Army, suicide. Sergeant Thomas Sullivan, United States Marine Corps. When he died, his brother found him in a chair. The VA couldn't believe anything was wrong with him, so he had him watercoloring for psychosomatic issues. Major Bo Biden, United States Army.
Sergeant Deborah Beckett, United States Army. Sergeant Stephen Oakes, United States Army. Lance Corporal Sean Terry, United States Marine Corps. Started this project. I was talking to Tim, one of our other friends who's helping to finance this. We're making another copy and trying to get it to the families. Just a reminder that we haven't forgotten you and that we're coming for you. Lauren Price. Amanda Stewart. If I remember her story correctly when I was reading her obituary, she died really young. In fact, there were a few people from her JROTC who stood in formation, one person for each year of her life, because no one could believe that she died that quickly. Sergeant Jason Spotted Horse, United States Army. Sergeant Ryan Mason, United States Army. George Zetsko, United States Army. Specialist Dominic Liguri, United States Army. Sergeant Matthew Bumpus, United States Army. Master Sergeant John Charleston, United States Air Force. Aaron Barnes, United States Army. Sergeant John Sherika, United States Army. Master Sergeant Brian Badstreber, United States Air Force. Master Sergeant Paula King, United States Air Force, lymphoma. Tech Sergeant Aaron Birch, United States Air Force. Master Sergeant Gary DeWitt, United States Army. Sergeant First Class Luke Hortenstein, United States Army. Brigadier General Michael Heston, United States Army. Doesn't discriminate by rank. Sergeant John Marshall, United States Army. Corporal Nicholas Warbrell, United States Marine Corps. Corporal Ricky Wasco, United States Marine Corps. Command Sergeant Major James Hubbard, United States Army. Specialist Dave Thomas, United States Army. Sergeant Lucky Sands, United States Army. Captain Andrew Maitner, United States Army. Corporal Tom Pelozola, suicide. First Sergeant William Bretwig, United States Army. Sergeant Brandon Maddock, United States Marine Corps. Captain John Thomas Cloninger, United States Army. Specialist Joshua Castile, United States Army. Colonel Matthew Kuhn, United States Army. Sergeant Bill McKenna, United States Army. Specialist Robert Wooten, United States Army. Sergeant John Marbut, United States Army. Austin Buck. I couldn't find a service on him, but he was 22. Jason Howard, United States Marine Corps. Chief Warrant Officer 3, John Uris, United States Army. Roderick Williams, United States Army. Sergeant Jeff Wells, United States Army. Spindle cell carcinoma, if I remember correctly. USC 6, Stephen Shull. Sergeant First Class, Benjamin Montez, United States Army. Todd Thompson, United States Army. Colonel Ron Allen, United States Army. Captain Peter Antio, United States Army. Staff Sergeant Danielle Yandolo, United States Army. Colonel Bruce Haverty, United States Army. I spoke to his wife briefly, and she was a nurse who quickly picked up that something was wrong because he didn't have the energy to cut his grass, so he was down on his knees with a pair of scissors. Staff Sergeant Brett Kirchhoff, United States Marine Corps. Specialist Anthony Rounds, United States Army. Corporal Patrick Duva, United States Marine Corps. Corporal William Garza, United States Marine Corps. First Sergeant C. Scott Monroe, United States Army. Austin Daniel, United States Marine Corps. Suicide. Army Sergeant Major Robert Bowman. Tech Sergeant Jessica Sweet, United States Air Force, also from Ohio. They're not just burning trash, they're burning us.
My name is John Edwards. I'm from Los Angeles, just happened to be in this area. And I saw this on the news, so I thought I'd stop by and support you. I really support what you're doing. I was in the Navy 1962 to 66. I was on the Ticonderoga aircraft carrier crash crew in Gulf of Tonkin incident in Vietnam. And I found out last year I was exposed to Agent Orange, which I had no idea about. I don't know if it's doing anything, but just found that out. But anyway, I just wanted to come out, support you guys. I'm amazed at how few people there are. I don't know why there's not hundreds of thousands of veterans here and supporters, not just veterans, but the people that are supporting as well. Only other thing I could think of is, this reminds me of Thomas Paine's Crisis Papers. He said something like, probably screw it up, but he said, these are the times that try men's souls. In these times, the summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will shrink from their duty. But the winter soldiers, those who stand it now, deserve the love and thanks of men and women. And I hope that some of these people will do another flip and become something other than sunshine patriots.
Hey guys, you look a little tired. Wake up, it's Monday. We've been here for 5 days. It's fantastic to see everybody. Thank all of you for being here. My name is Tim Jensen. I'm Chief Strategy Officer at Gruntstyle. I'm a co-owner. I'm president of the Gruntstyle Foundation. I've been working with Rosie Torres and John Stewart and a whole bunch of other individuals from all the VSOs up and down the line for the last 4 years, walking these halls trying to get this bill passed, putting it together, drafting it, talking with all the right people, getting all the right things put into the bill. Is this a perfect bill? That's to be determined. But I think we have an opportunity to address something extraordinarily difficult that's happening within our community right now. Veterans are dying, and they're dying from their service that they did from the 20 years of war that we participated in the last decade. Think about that. We are dying from the war that we participated in, and those shots have stopped firing. We're dying here in our backyards, in our kitchens, in our living rooms like Heath Robinson. It's garbage. We can do better. We can do better. And that's what this bill does. This bill is the start of doing better. It brings presumption to 2.5 or 3.5 million veterans. That's something huge. That's something that is bigger than, I don't know, something we've done for the veteran community in 60 plus years. But we're playing political games now over a discretionary, mandatory, nonsense conversation. And veterans are dying. We could have had a law weeks ago when it passed the Senate, June 16th, with 84 to 14 as the number. But no, we're out here standing in front of all of Congress. We've been doing it for 5 days, sleeping out the steps of this very building that most of us went and fought and defend. That's wrong. We can do better. Today's the day that we can do better. And hopefully the 25 senators that changed their vote will come to some sense of intellectual being and say, okay, we'll vote for this, because they already voted for it before. We're not stupid. This made it all the way through the House of Representatives, all the way through the Senate twice before they pulled this budgetary gimmick. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. Pass the bill, and thank you all for joining us. It's a pleasant day. It's a little cooler, and we're in the shade now, so enjoy it.
We got ice on the way. We got ice on the way.
Are they feeding you and hydrating you? You want some water?
Oh, I'm good.
All right. Hey, thanks for staying the course, dude.
What do we know about a vote? Anything?
So I